And welcome to this week's episode of the Support Esports podcast. I'm your host, William, and with me today I have Brock.
Hello.
And today we're talking LCK. So let's get right into it. You had a pretty good week finally. Finally. This week,
Hey.
I actually had the second best week of all time. Outside of yours was the best week we've had. I went 6-4. We have been doing terrible in LCK. Like this
Yeah, me too.
LCKs are worst by far region. I think I'm beating you overall by one game at the moment, and I am at a 60% pick rate through all regions, so that should show you with being two games under 500 in LCK, that's how bad it is compared to the rest.
Yeah.
It's been rough. It's been a weird year. We could say that.
And to be fair though, your picks were good. It was just the two you lost were upset picks.
That's true. That's true.
And the first one, at that point, wasn't that big of a stretch.
Yeah, I didn't think so either. But we can get right into it. And starting with the first one, we have Damwon versus Sandbox. The game went 3 games. I thought the first game, Damwon Gaming, did not look to be in any sorts whatsoever. I was really. This is where like the red flags were starting to show up. Was in game one, where I'm like, okay, maybe losing the SKT and Griffin was like messed them up mentally. Like,
Yeah,
some
game one, they didn't even look like the same team game.
No, I think it's well. I really think what's happened is teams have scouted out Damwon to a T at the moment, in that they are banning Nagari from all of his good champions, all of the hyper carry champions, and they're putting him on lower level champs, like lower tier picks in the meta. But he's still playing the same way as he would be on like the Aatrox before it got just nerfed like really hard and stuff like that. So he's still overextending, but he's not able to make the plays on it because he's not on as tough of a champ. You know, like
Yeah.
he's being banned out. He's not getting his Vlad and stuff like that,
Yeah.
where he can like late game he can overextend in 3v1. He's getting something like Akali or something. I mean, Akali's strong, but like he's not as proficient on the Akali as he is on the Aatrox and the Vlad.
Yeah. And honestly, Damwon is one of the teams throughout all the regions that for me is the hardest team to place in power rank.
Oh,
Because
they're one of the hardest.
when Damwon is on,
They're
that
good.
like game two,
Yeah, game two
this
they
is against
blew out.
yeah, and that's against a number two team.
Yeah.
Like easily number two team. And it was like they weren't playing against anybody.
I'd put Sandbox number 3 in the world, like top 3 in the world, 2 or 3.
Yeah,
Like
100%.
it's not like they're just number 2 in Korea. I think they're one of the best teams in the world at the moment, and they just
Yeah.
destroyed them in game 2. Yeah, we can talk about game 2. They just completely cleaned them up. It was
Yeah.
the Aatrox jungle by Canyon was just simply out ganking the Lee Sin the whole game. I had to put my MVP on Nagri because of his Kennen performance. Like he just looked insane on Kennen, especially with how bad he was in game 1. Like it was a really nice mental recovery to see.
Yeah. I also think the Renekton pick was super like was a strange pick. Like I didn't expect that. I didn't expect Renekton.
Yeah, Renekton didn't work out too well, I don't think.
And
Uh,
know what else didn't work out too well, which I think we need to stop throughout all the regions is Victor Bot.
oh God,
Like
yeah.
like the meme for me is obviously bang on Victor, but please stop picking Victor
Just Victor in
throughout all the
general.
regions.
He got
Yeah.
nerfed to the ground. I don't know why people are still playing
Yeah.
him. The
Not
reason,
even just bot lane.
yeah,
Like
top.
I
Licker's top.
understand.
Lost his
Yeah,
CLG.
exactly. Like I understand. Like obviously this isn't about NA, but I do understand like the concept of why you would want AP champion bot lane because they put the Aatrox in the Urgot and mid and top lane, so you need an AP threat.
Yep.
But you shouldn't do that. And in this region, in this case, you shouldn't do it at all.
Yeah, it was ugly.
Yeah,
I don't like Victor at all as a pick personally. I'm not
I
a
don't.
fan of Victor as a pick. I'm not a fan of Gragas support. I know
Yeah,
I'm not too much a fan of Gragas in general at the moment. I know he's
Mm-mm.
better than he's one that I'm like when I see it picked, I'm like, I feel like there's could be better. But it's like he has potential for outplays, like big outplays of his ult. But I always feel like
Mhm.
there's a better jungler available than Gragas. And that's just
yeah,
my
and
personal opinion.
it's kind of one of those things where it's like, why would you pick the Gragas though? Like, is it like a poke thing, or
Yeah,
because he's not healing, he's not
he
shielding.
heals a little bit when he chugs that.
Yeah,
Chugs that
well, I mean for your
alcohol.
AD carry, like as
Oh
a
yeah,
supportive
yeah,
thing
yeah.
for your AD carry, it's like,
Got it.
yeah, it's a strange thing. And he's not like a Braum or Thresh. He's not going to be like he's not giving the shield from Thresh,
Hmm.
and he's not going to be shielding like actual shielding like Braum would. So it's a very strange pick that people are still doing.
Hmm. I think it's something like you'd say like, oh, you can use the ult as a peel for your ADC, but it's still very rarely used. It's always used as the engage of every team fight when you have
Yeah.
Braum. You wait for the Braum, or not the Braum, sorry, the Gragas to ult and then get someone out of position and then you do it. I personally just don't like. I'm sure I know it has benefits and stuff like that because it can provide a lot of burst damage and you can get a flash belly slam and just
Yeah.
stun someone up and just blow them up instantly. But I don't know. I just not one of my favorites.
And
Uh,
speaking of things we don't see that often, game three, there's actually Aatrox jungle.
yeah,
You see it mid and top all the time, but you don't really get to see it in the jungle that much.
yeah. Well, we did see it in game two as well.
Oh, did we see it in
Yeah,
game two?
game two.
I blanked out on some of
Game
the
two was a super quick game. I understand
Oh
that.
yeah, it was Canyon. It was Canyon
Hmm.
because he was on the
Yeah, but game three was actually pretty insane. I felt like every single fight was like neck and neck. Like everything was like so close.
yeah.
SB Sandbox did take a huge Baron at the 37-minute after losing. They got picked, but they just caught Damwon backing and resetting, and they just totally stole the Baron off of him. Damwon was not prepared for it at all,
Yeah, Joker didn't have a fantastic game.
which
Uh,
sucked. I love Joker, but
yeah,
he did have a rough.
his thresh is usually pretty clean
Oh
too.
yeah, he just throws out every hook possible. I love him because he's like 29 years
Yep,
old.
yep.
He does. He will throw every hook possible. Let's see what else then. Right, there was something else about this game, but oh yeah,
Nuggery got
SB
Vlad.
at the very end of the game. Oh my God, SB aced Damwon with like three members with like a combined like 500 HP. They were all so low. Yeah, Nagari's Vlad just came into a team fight and tore them apart, but not apart enough. Like
Yeah,
they
that
were
was at
all so low at Elder Drake.
yeah Drake. Yeah,
Yeah, and that they were able to just ace from there because it was so late. I think that was around 40 minutes, so like that was they were just able to walk it down mid and finish the game. It was insane. I thought Damwon looked pretty well in this game. So the red flags were in game one, but game two and game three, I'm like, okay, game two they look great. Game three they just pushed Sandbox to the brink, so like that's okay. Like, but like
yeah,
as we'll know later on, not the case.
yeah. Like honestly, statistics is what puts them one out of top five for me. Like
Hmm.
just their stats, like
You,
wins, losses, and all
you
that stuff.
can't.
But as a team, they're so good.
I know. You can't stay in top five if you lose four games in a row. 3 weeks
Yeah,
into the season, though, that's my
yeah.
philosophy about it. Uh, game number two or series number two was Jin Air versus Afrika. It was nice to see aiming back on Afrika. We still don't know exactly what happened. They never released anything, to my knowledge, but that was weird in a sense. But I've liked seeing aiming. He's a very good ADC, but if he's only coming in for a test, maybe against Jin Air, and I don't know, because they tested some things in this game. Let's just say that. AP Jarvan support. You probably heard about that this week.
Yeah, that's.
Really weird.
I mean, if you're going for a poke support, I might not go Jarvan.
It's
Hey.
it worked, but it worked. It went 3-1 this whole week, but it went 2-0 against Jin Air, and I feel like 2-0 against Jin Air isn't saying much, and I don't necessarily. He made one really good play that I can remember off the top of my head. I don't know. It was in the red sides, red buff jungle area, but I don't remember the exact timing on that. Unfortunately, I didn't write it down. But I don't. You can poke. I get it. And then the AP is really only a Zanya, so you don't just instant die, which I get that as well. It's just weird, and I think a lot of supports do what he does better. So I think it's more
Oh, 100%.
very niche pick. And
Yeah, I mean, you know who you can build AP on that's a support that does things? Rakan if you wanted.
Rakan, Brand,
I mean, yeah,
Morgana,
there's so many.
Lulu, Lux. You're not gonna see a
It's,
Lux support in LCK,
yeah, it's
but yeah,
like
you can have a
speaking
lot of
of
them.
long games though, this was like a 58-minute game.
Yeah. It's
It was
I think I
three Elder Drag
let's
things.
see. He's what I write down here. Let's see. Let's see. First blood, of course, go. Of course, it goes to J4. Of course, it does. This is what I wrote.
Yep.
The AP J4. Another really wrong game but aiming on Ezreal was just throwing himself a welcome back party. I thought he stole a Baron with Ezreal at 50 minutes. Like that's insane because that was actually going to be Jynneir's win. I personally think if he didn't steal that,
Yeah.
Jynneir's going to close that game out because they were already down 3 members to 5, and then the second Elder Drake was already on the rifts. Like it was or no, sorry, they already took second Elder Drake, and then he just getting that ult with the or ult. Getting that Baron with the ult steal by Ezreal was just absolutely the MVP of the game. I was very happy for him because there's been a lot of controversy about him. So seeing him perform so well, even if it is against Jynneir, it's not bad.
Yeah. And then game 2 was awful. Game 2 was
Yeah, I think my first note is when you die 26 times as a professional team, that is a very terrible game. When you die 26 times in a 22-minute game, you are Jynneir.
Yo, yeah. The goal difference is insane at 24 minutes.
There is no.
Jynneir had 36k gold, and Afrika had 52k gold.
Yeah, that's near a 20k lead. That's a 16k
And
lead.
that's it. 24 minutes.
24 minutes. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh.
That's crazy.
Oh.
And it's not like Afrika is a great team.
No.
Afrika's
I have Afrika as the second worst team in the LCK.
Yeah, that just shows you how bad Jynneir
Yeah,
is.
there's nothing we need to talk about analyst-wise about Jynneir until they show something else. They are terrible. They're one of the worst teams in all of Major League League of Legends at the moment, I think.
Absolutely. I think Jynneir needs to do an SKT strat and just get rid of everyone.
They did. They got rid of Teddy. And that was
Yeah, I know. Get rid of everyone again, and then try and bring something else back in.
It's rough. It's looking really rough.
Yeah.
Then we
Maybe they can get double lift.
Yeah, I don't think that would happen. Because Jynneir's not going to be an LCK by the end of this year. I'll guarantee that.
No. Literally.
SKT versus Griffin is what we had next.
Yep.
And it wasn't a very good series.
No. Yeah, it wasn't very good at all. Like,
oh god.
Game
one.
Yeah, game 1 was 9-0 at the end.
It
like,
took 28 minutes for first blood.
Yeah. That's an old SKT game too.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird that the whole team for SKT is different, but they're playing like 2 seasons ago SKT.
Yeah, but they weren't in that case scenario.
They
were the team that were getting played against them, like old SKT.
Yep.
Because Griffin was the team that at 28 minutes, like, okay, first blood. Okay, this game is over now. Like, let's absolutely accelerate the pace. All of a sudden, this game's completely over. GG.
And that would happen that game because Faker picks Rise. Like, a pick that I love when Faker is on is Rise, and of course that happens.
Yeah. It was a boring game, and then the next game was not boring, but that was Griffin just blowing SKT out of the water. Chovy finishes the game at the moment at a KDA of 104. This team just obliterated SKT in the second game. They obliterated them, frankly, in the first game as well. It just was a very slow burn type obliteration where they were just beating them in every lane in CS and every lane. They were just SKT couldn't do anything, and Griffin was just kind of just like slowly choking them to death. And then next game they just slaughtered them completely.
It's hard for me to think of a team that could beat Griffin in a series.
Yeah, because SKT in this series, by the way, this is a series, not game. They had 3 kills, 2 dragons, and 1 Baron that they immediately lost.
Yep.
That's it. They didn't take a single tower all series. They only had 3 kills all series. They only had 2 dragons, which were at the beginning of game 1. Like, so went back when it was 0-0. They had a little bit of they didn't take any Rift Heralds. They only took the 1 Baron, really didn't count at all. Like, that's terrible stats for 1 game. That's 2 game stats. Like,
yeah.
It was ugly. Series number 4, it was Gen G versus KT. It was an extremely back and forth series in the worst way possible. There was so many like Gen G has the lead, and now they just gave up a team fight by getting overextended. Sweet, now KT has the advantage. Now they can take Baron, but wait, they just lost Baron because they didn't ward properly. So now Gen G's taking over the game. Oh, Gen G's gonna throw the game back to KT. This is all three games, by the way. This is not just like one game this happened. This is all three games. Exactly
Yeah.
like it was. Oh my god, it was like and Gen G just finally won because they were KT ended up throwing when they had death timers of 60 seconds. It's like, oh, we can win finally. They can't
Yep.
respond long enough for us to give them the lead back. If that's how you want to take that game. Terrible game all around. Two so disappointing teams. I don't know what to do with them. They feel like they should be better than what they are, but they just simply have not been in the 3 weeks.
Yeah. See, I love when we're right about something though, because game one shows that like how right we actually are. Where if you want a mage bot lane, prioritize Vlad
Yeah.
and not Victor. Because they played Vladimir in game one, KT did, and it worked well.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was very odd to see that well, like you said, Victor is so much better than Vlad. Or I mixed that whole thing up. Vlad is
Yeah.
so much better than Victor at the moment, personally, because he's a lot stronger of a late game fight because there's so much heavy engage at the moment in the meta that Victor can't just peel like he used to and just like kite away or not peel.
Yeah.
Sorry, he can't just kite away and run like he used to be able to. Where Vlad is the one going in on the engages and he's able to provide more to your team late game than Victor is personally.
Yeah, especially because when people are playing Victor, they're building tanks. So it's like you're taking away from their damage.
Yeah.
Which is I mean, he scales well, so he's doing damage, but right now in the state Victor's in, like you said, team fights, Vladimir's just gonna do
Yeah. He's just gonna be so much better than Victor in team fights. Series number 5 was Damwon versus Kingzone. Oh,
yeah.
this was Damwon. What are you do? I don't. I'm like, is Kingzone for real? Like, this is their third win in a row at this point. Like, they 2-0 Damwon. Damwon looked not good in this at all. The like my hype train at this point has completely died for Damwon with this game. I,
Yeah.
I think the playbook of banning a bunch of Nagari's champs, the guy, he overextends too much. He really flat out he just overextends too much without his team, and he gets caught, and he lets his team down with objectives because of it. Like he's constantly caught out, even though he's the best player on their team. I think he needs to really reel himself in. The coaches need to reel him in. It's kind of
Yeah.
similar to Broken Blade and TSM, but at a much worse scale, in my opinion.
Hmm.
And I was so angry with this series. Like I really think Kingzone are pretenders, but now I have to have them fourth because they've won three. Spoiler: 4 series in a row.
Yeah.
Like, like
And this is a game
I
like
don't
the
think they're that
first game
good.
in the yeah, the first game in this series, like Kingzone managed to have every dragon except one, but Damwon was still they still took their inhib and they still took all the way up to inhib towers.
Yeah,
So it's like they were still doing stuff and then they just lose.
yeah. It's because
Yeah.
Nagri gets caught out, and then it's a
Yeah.
4v5. It's a 4v4 all of a sudden without any extra pressure. So that fifth person can come in, and they do teleport behind them or teleport around. They're either creating pressure. He's not creating enough pressure, and he's trying to create too much pressure, and in a result of that he's losing pressure. It's just I'm so disappointed with them one. I really want them to step up and win, but I don't feel like I can pick them against many teams. Like I just don't. I think
Yeah.
teams have really figured them out, and I think earlier in the year when we were talking about all these rookie teams, one of them's going to fall or two of them even. I think Damwon might be that team that falls, which honestly I would have said was the least expected for me personally. I would have said it would have been Hanwha Life that falls first.
Well, see, and it's going to be strange because next week Damwon actually has a very good week for them to get their wins in. Like
Yes,
they're
they do.
not playing against good
They
people.
do.
But even then, it's like,
I'm still nervous. I think that all the teams
yeah.
have figured them out.
And even then, it's like, how do you rank them?
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's a lot like other regions, like NA specifically. If Liquid beats Golden Guardians it's like, what do you do? Or if C9 or TSM beat Golden Guardians,
Yeah, you
like
can't move
it's
them
almost
up.
like you don't move them. You just hold them there.
Yeah, that you're expected to beat them, and if it's a lose lose situation when we talk about with power rankings, where unless you blow this team out, you look bad. In
Yeah,
regard
absolutely.
in for TSM and stuff, they don't care. They get a win. But in regards to power rankings, which are imaginative and like just what we talk about here,
Yeah,
you look bad if you don't basically destroy a 10th place team
yeah,
like Jin Air. If you don't
yep,
destroy Jin Air in
absolutely.
2 games, if you lose a game to Jin Air, you probably will drop a ranking, in my opinion. If is depending on how your other game went,
Yep,
there should be no losing games to Jin Air, especially if you're a high superior team. Like if you're a top 4 team, you should be sweeping Jin Air completely without even giving them a remote chance to win a game. Uh, Next we had Afrika versus. Nope, sorry. We had Hanwha Life versus Jin Air. Again, this is Jin Air. That they actually started the game 4-0, to be fair, and they completely shut down Sangyun and Kian Hawa, which was what I would never expect, especially with a Vlad early. They completely shut down that Vlad Chen bot lane. Like no one ever does it. Everyone just lets it scale up. They don't pressure it enough. Jin Air, out of all teams, was like, let's pressure them. Like let's make this work. Like we're desperate here. We got to get a quick game in, and then everything collapsed after that. They constantly got picked off, sadly, and then they just go ahead and lost game 2, by the way, as well, right away. It was like they had the momentum for like 20 minutes of the first game, and I'm like, oh my god, Jin Air might beat Hanwha Life, which looked ugly to me for Hanwha Life. I didn't drop them because they still won the game, but it looked bad for the first 20 minutes, and then they rebounded, got a little bit of vision, kept playing safe and scaling on the Vlad. They knew they were going to lose late with or early with Vlad Chen, and then just Vlad Chen is obviously Vlad goes in, does all of his damage, and then Shen gets an ult and like makes sure he stays alive no matter what. He can't be popped, and then Shen
yeah.
protects for him with the taunts.
And it's like another thing is with the Gen Air players, like individually, they have moments where they can do such big plays, like crazy plays, and then they just blow it by making really terrible decisions.
Yeah.
Like there was a play top lane with Lindarang. I think I said that Lindarang
Hmm.
on Akali in game one, where he gets like 3-man dove, and he manages to get out, but he used his E into his shroud, and then takes it back into all three people and dies.
I remember that play that you're talking. I remember that, and it's just
Yeah,
like
and it's like, why?
they think they can outplay. I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah,
They make some very questionable decisions, and that's why they're 0-6. And they've only won one game, if I believe. Like they won one game against Genji, and that's
yeah,
it.
against Genji. Yep,
Like it's
and
that's
that's
they have talent. Obviously, they're on a professional LCK team. It's not like they don't have talent, but it's
and Genji is getting. What was it? Is Ruler coming back or something? Someone's coming back for one of the teams, right?
You're thinking RNG. You're thinking
Yeah.
VC
Okay.
coming back in
Yeah.
RNG. Different region.
Yeah. Yeah. Differently. I was thinking something because I was
Rulers.
like, yeah, I was like, I feel like someone's missing from a team, but is it this region?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Uzi is missing from RNG, and that
Yeah.
should hopefully help them because they are looking pretty not great.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about Ruler in a second. But the next game we had was Afrika versus KT, and KT won this game. I was surprised, especially with them losing to Gen G. I see them lose to Gen G. I'm looking at my upset. It was not much of an upset with Afrika over them, and I'm like,
Mhm.
I'm sitting there like, oh yeah, they just lost to Gen G. Like this is easy for me now.
Yeah.
It was not. It was not at all. KT 2-0 to Afrika. What happened here? I thought like KT didn't even look great. Afrika just looked terrible, in my opinion. I think
Yeah.
Afrika just lost in draft, and then it was just not good. It was pretty ugly. The whole thing, ugly, ugly, ugly. And did you have anything else to say, or did you want to go right into the next one?
I mean, like you said, I agree with you. It just wasn't good. It
Hmm.
wasn't up to it. I mean, even saying it, it's not what you would have expected from a number 9 team,
Hmm.
but you kind of still expected more than what we got.
Yeah, like Let me pull up the match history here on Reddit. I have it here. Look at me, I'm prepared. The just like BDD played Urgot into Zoe. Urgot countered Zoe because he's just so tanky that the burst can't like get through. Vlad going against Sion. I know Sion's a lane bully, but not against Vlad. He can't do enough damage after level 9 to even affect Vlad from level 7. So you just drafted yourself 2 losing lanes right there. The Kane
Yeah.
by Dread. Oh my god, it was ugly. 0-7, it looked terrible. It looked great against Jin Air, but that's Jin Air. It doesn't count as a team. They gave him Cassiopeia for aiming, but aiming's your ADC player. Like, this is a perfect time when you had Spirit as your ADC. Like, you could do it then with Cassiopeia, but then you had Spirit on Fiddlesticks, which really didn't work out that well. Not a fan of Fiddlesticks
Mhm.
support still. It bullies early lane, but then falls off like a brick. Like, it just falls terribly off.
Oh, terribly.
Like,
Yeah.
it does, especially in Korea, in any major professional teams, because they have vision and they know where everyone is. Even without vision, they can tell for the most part. So your fiddle ganks over the wall are not going to get people like they will in solo queue when no one pays attention, including myself. And then you had Thresh to stop the fiddle, by the way, to just like CC him up the second he comes in.
Yeah.
And Lucian as well. You had Lucian going into Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia needs to scale. Lucian does not. Lucian just destroyed him. That was game 1. Game 2 was actually a little bit closer, but I don't like the Zoe into Aurelion Sol. Not that you can expect an Aurelion Sol, really. That's not necessarily their fault. But they had to think about it with BDD. He's a pretty big Aurelion Sol player, and Aurelion Sol getting buffs, and a lot of other mid laners getting nerfs. Like the stat balls are coming back, and Aurelion Sol is one of them, where they don't take necessarily as much skill. Though Aurelion Sol takes a bit of team play, more so it's more team play skill than anything else. But he is a counter to Zoe, and just you left yourself wide open to that. Uh,
Yeah. Aurelion Sol is actually a really good counter to lane bully
yeah.
because he just pushes a man.
Yep, he just completely pushes them in, and then they can't roam at all, or then they can't push exactly against them. They can't
Yeah.
push back. They also gave up the Cassiopeia this time instead of they did the reverse, which I like having Amy better on Lucian. It just did not work out because Snowflower on Shen was a monster in this game. Personally, I really like the Shen game. I think he landed a lot of important taunts, and you played the Jarvan AP, by the way. Again, that didn't work.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Imagine
let
that.
me say, AP Jarvan only went 2-1, not 3-1. I said 3-1 earlier. It just 2-1. Not good. It
Not
didn't
good at
work.
all.
It did not work against Cassiopeia. Because he would jump in and get immediately burst because Cassiopeia does so much damage.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, not only that, you kind of like all she has to do is put her miasma down. You can't even do your swag flag.
yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. So it's just an ugly pick all around. And then you
Yeah.
knew Cassiopeia was out there because she was picked first.
Yep.
And I didn't know that for sure, but I do know that for sure because Cassiopeia's up. She's being picked first. Next game or next series, we had Griffin versus Sandbox. Very good series. Lived up to the hype of two 5-0 teams going against each other. The first game was Griffin winning it with Chovy still going 7-0-4, and I believe that put him at 113 KDA at the time. And I think he peaked out in the next game, but he was a beast on the Akali. The Galio, I don't like that teams are still picking Galio. I think he's been nerfed too hard. I also think Aatrox has been nerfed pretty hard, so getting Aatrox and Galio is not good. They did end up picking the Cassiopeia, but that's because Griffin just doesn't care. Griffin will give you
Yeah.
anything they want. They don't care. They're better
Yeah.
than you no matter what.
And my whole thing with the Galio pick as well, even though it's gotten nerfed, I don't like straight up counter pick. Like I don't like I'm picking this because it counters this.
Yeah.
Like I don't think that's smart to do. Because you can't pick something that's nerfed just because it counters something that would pick.
Yeah, because it got nerfed hard, and a lot of the damage has gone off Galio now. They took all of his utility away earlier, like in the year, to
Yeah.
game.
And it's like you pick Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia's not bad into a college.
Yeah,
So it's like you already have the pick.
yeah, you can make that go, and then you can take a competitive laner like Ezreal, I believe. Was he banned? No, he was not. Yeah, you could take a competitive laner early with Ezreal against Lucian, but you didn't. You took Cassiopeia instead.
Yeah.
But I mean, and they took the Gragas support, which is one of my issues as well.
Joker was on some crazy stuff this this whole series.
Yeah,
They had
Joker.
the Gragas game one and then Galio support game
Yeah,
two and
his
three.
Galio support is so weird. I don't like it at all, and I love it at the same time. I don't like it as a
Yeah,
pick, but he makes it work. It's essentially like that. I'm like, this
yeah,
doesn't make any sense. Why are you picking this? He costs more mana now. He has none of the utility he used to bring as a support. All of his damage got nerfed, so he can't even help push the waves as easily as he can. But so he looks like absolutely should not be a support anymore. He's like, I'll still do it, and he does great. He's 2-0 on it. It's
yeah.
insane. This was the very first game that Griffin lost, and they lost from the very beginning. Honestly, it was a 14k gold lead or 13k gold lead. It was 13-0. Is that in kills? Does that say? No, 13-11. Sorry, I was like, that doesn't sound right. Because I'm like looking at everyone else; they all have kills. But yeah, it was just really good play by all of Sandbox. Ghost was a beast on Lucian. They really shut down Viper and Lee Hens quite a lot. Sword got shut down on Sion. Sword looked terrible in this game on Sion. He is the weak
Yeah.
link of Griffin, but I think it's in the same aspect of Liquid in the sense with Impact, where he's the weak link, but he's like the third best top laner in the Korea, where everyone else on the team is just the best at everything. um, on Fleek looked like a monster though on the Lee Sin. He really redeemed himself from his first game Lee Sin when he went 0-5-2. This game he went 4-0-5. Much huge improvement, and I really like on Fleek. Honestly, he's pretty cocky, weird name, but he gets the job done, and that's all you need to do.
That's pretty much it. I'm a big fan of anyone who plays Lee Sin and manages style on people
Mhm. Mhm.
because Lee Sin is a very dear pick to me. Lee Sin support, great support.
Mhm. And then finally we had game number 3. This one was a little bit more of a
Yeah.
blowout, and you're like, oh yeah, Griffin's not supposed to lose. They lost a game. They're not going to lose a
Yeah.
third game or second game. They're not definitely not losing a series. Uh,
Yeah. Which, to be fair, for me, this was a great. This was a good series, but for me, Sandbox came out ahead for me in this game because they actually took a game.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Like Griffin's stock is still obviously
Best
they're
team
the
in the world,
best.
in my
Like
opinion.
yeah, they're the best, 100%. But Sandbox, I mean, they're up there. Like
Hmm.
their stock rose a lot, even losing.
I have to artificially put Fun Plus Phoenix ahead of them because they're undefeated in the LCK and
Yeah,
they've beaten Sunning, which I want to put Sunning ahead of them, but I can't because Fun Plus Phoenix simply beat them in a best of 3. Like, there's no way I can argue that Fun Plus Phoenix is worse than Sunning at the moment. But
yeah,
and IG as well is up there as well. I think those are the top 5 teams right there. They're all Eastern teams. Then number
mhm,
6, I'd put G2, and then like SKT and Team Liquid after that. But
yeah.
like, I think those are the top teams of the league. I think China's very scary this year. But we're not talking China. We're talking Korea.
We got one more week,
We
and then
do.
we're talking China.
Yeah. It's been nice. It's been nice.
It has been nice. Oh my god, it's been
Not
so
having
nice.
to watch League every moment of my life. I'm averaging watching 53 to 54 hours of League a week usually. So
Yes.
it's quite a lot. Quite a lot. Especially since I'm working 50 hours a week too. But that ends this week as well.
Yep.
This game, oh god, Kingzone versus Genji. I was distracting for a while, or going off topic for a while because Kingzone and Genji. Uh, I want to. If you guys saw on Reddit, LS walked off the announcer's desk after Game 3 because he couldn't handle it. It was so bad. If you want to watch an absolute clown fiesta, more so than NA can provide, more so than the LMS can provide, watch Game 3 between Kingzone and Genji. It is terrible. It is one of the worst skill-wise games I've ever seen in professional play. It's probably the worst I've seen this year, skill-wise. Like, at least Genji through Jin Air was just boring as shit. Like, at least they were doing, like, they weren't doing anything, but it wasn't, they weren't throwing like the way Kingzone and Genji were throwing. And it was just an embarrassing series all around, personally. It was quite ugly.
Yeah.
And then finally we had SKT versus Home Wife. This one I barely, for being the last series, I barely remember it. I just know that SKT kind of cleaned up. I forgot to write notes personally, but like even with the notes, I felt like SKT just kind of destroyed
Uh,
Home Life in both
yeah.
games.
Game one was. I mean, SKT got all the dragons. The game was done at 30 minutes with a score of 11-4.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah,
then game two, I think, was the same thing.
yeah, I can pull it up right here.
Yeah, game four was over at 25 minutes. SKT was up 15-2.
Yeah, it was one of
This,
those series that was like, oh, it was 29 minutes and 25 minutes. Like, it was over so quickly, and I was looking at my notes today. I'm like, oops, I forgot the right note. I forgot the right notes for this Kingzone series, which was okay because it was so bad, and I remember it vividly because it was so bad. And I think it was stuck in my memory of how bad that series was that I didn't watch the SKT one. I did watch the SKT one, but I don't remember the SKT one. It was just so clean and quick that it was like, oh, this is what League looks like when a team has the lead.
yeah.
This is what it's supposed to look like. But that's all for week three's games. Let's go over our players of the week now. Uh, Top lane, I had Gen G surprisingly with Roach. Top lane, to be fair, not sorry to Roach. There was not many good top laners this week, stat wise. And I've been trying to get a little better, what Brian said yesterday, and try and get it more what they did. And I'll be able to explain that in a bit. Like what the implications of what they did were. But this one with Gen G Roach, he had a KDA of 12.7, kill participation of 64.4%, CS per minute of 8.4. His best game was 7-3-9 on Urgot against KT, and it was just all he did was play Urgot. So he didn't make a lot of fancy plays. He didn't make anything. He was a brick wall all series, all week. But he did his job, and that's what some people's jobs are for. Jungler of the week was Tarzan, of course, on Griffin. It's almost him every week because it's Tarzan. And he had a KD of 11.3, a kill participation of 72%. His best game definitely was his 0-1-11 on Zac in the first game against the Sandbox. It was such a clean game by him, and it was just a lot of his games are clean, obviously. But I was just very impressed, as always, with Tarzan. Along with Griffin again, we have Griffin Chovy in the mid lane. He had a measly KDA of 22 this week, Brock.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a scrub. I don't even know why I
What
picked
a
him.
scrub.
Last week he was first week he was perfect. He was MVP of the second week at like 40 something or 50 something KDA for the week. Now he's only at 22. This guy's fallen off completely. Died 3 times or 2 times this week. Like that's more than he's died. He's double of what he's died all year.
Just terrible.
22% of his team's damage, CS per minute of 10, and he had a 7-0-4 game on Akali against Sandbox. That was the first game. He just straight up dominated that. He was going in. He didn't care that his KDA was almost 100 or over 100. He was going in at like 10 HP, and he was still going in and getting executes on his ult with Akali. It was awesome. I love Chovy. I think he's the best mid laner in the world at the moment, and even though he died twice this week, he's still pretty good. ADC, I had Kingzone's Deft. Deft's KDA was only a 3.9. That was much better with Viper. Personally, I could have picked Kingzone Viper or Griffin's Viper. Sorry, but Deft had a CS per minute of 11 damage. He had 40% of his team's damage. That was a big thing. He had 595 damage per minute. I could almost say every game was his best game because he single-handedly is carrying Kingzone through almost every single one of their games. Every single game on Kai'Sa or Kalista or Ezreal is always Deft. Always Deft. They're like, Kingzone's looking bad up top. Kingzone's looking bad in mid. The jungler's not doing much. Oh, Deft is just destroying on bot lane. Or if he's not destroying, he's keeping him in the game. And then like you get the 30 minutes, they stall out, and Deft makes a huge play to move on and get a win. I really like what Deft's doing on Kingzone. Sadly, I don't think he has the pieces around him to keep it up. They are the tied for third best team in the Korea at the moment. I think Hanwha and Damwon will eventually pass them by, and I think they will go back. They could still be easily a playoff team, which is how bad Afrika, KT, Genji, and Jin Air look this year. They can definitely still be a playoff team. I think they're the best of the worst, though. I think they'll be a little bit exposed this week.
Yeah.
Finally, support. We have Lee Hands on Griffin. It's really hard, just like with Team Liquid and NA. It's really hard to give anyone outside of Griffin MVPs, because they just do everything so well as a team. Like everything's perfect, and it's like, oh, okay, you did everything right. He had a KDA of 6.6. His vision score per minute of 3.13. I don't like to say KDAs too much for supports, but it was impressive. And his kill participation was over 80%, and that's pretty good. 80% is always very nice.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
All right, you want to talk about play of the week?
Yeah, there's actually two. Now, one's not a play of the week. One's just a really good play. But what's funny is what happens after.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll do that one, and then we'll do the actual play of the week.
Alright, we're doing this one. Oops, we're doing this one first then.
Yep, I'm going to go to you. This one is from the SKT Griffin.
Alright.
Uh,
Three.
Osmo.
Tell me
Yep.
when you're ready. Three,
Yeah.
2, 1, go.
Full vision of SKT.
Level
Looking
6
to
as
come
well.
in. Faker's down here as well, though. Spell Shield comes down. Tarzan with the paranoia steals away his own red buff, and oh, that's an overstep. The flash out, the flash in with the taunt, double kill instantly for Chovy, and Faker is gonna burn down to the red buff.
The good play was the Galio flash taunt, but
Yeah.
the funny play was what happened after.
Yeah,
If you go back and slow it down just a little bit.
Yeah, let's keep your eyes on Faker here. Here's the big explosion of Galio taunt, plus 600 gold to Chovy. Here's Faker, and he's gonna flash over the wall. And oh no, he's hit. Sorry. Now he flashes over the wall, but not really. He hides in the bush and dies to red buff burn. Oh, they all got faked out so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, and on
If it
top of
wasn't-
that, the Genji's winning
Yeah.
bot lane.
Yeah, on top of that, great play.
Mm-hmm.
That
7
was just
minutes
such
in.
a funny play.
7 minutes in,
seven-
it's 5-0
Yep, 7
against
minutes, by the
SKT,
way.
arguably a top 5 team at the time against Griffin.
Now, the actual play of the week
All right, pull this one up.
came from Nogari. Or
Yeah.
Kenneth.
We've trash talked him a lot today, but he gets play of the week.
Yep.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, go.
Members. It's going to be taken down the next one. In goes Nogari. Boom goes the dynamite. And see you later, Sandbox. That is the last nail in this coffin. That's
Oh
yeah,
man,
that's just a beautiful play.
yeah, that's just every Kennan's dream right there. Like,
Yeah, and then it ends the game. And the crazy part is you know, like you can look where at Nogari's position and you know he's waiting for it.
oh
and
yeah,
there comes just a slight moment
oh yeah,
where
they
they're all
grouped.
together.
They all grouped up there. It's
And in just that moment, like there's a moment where you can pause the video and they're actually on top of each other.
yeah,
And Nogari sees that and just immediately flash ults.
yeah, right there. Pause it at 5:03. They are all 5 holding hands in like an X. Like that is a Pike ult right there.
Yeah.
Oh
Imagine if there's a Malphite on.
yeah, Malphite. Oh my god. I
Shouts
love
out to Malphite for Will.
I haven't played him in over a season. I loved him. I loved him with the old armor. Can't do that anymore, sadly.
You also, I didn't actually notice that, but it didn't help at all. But shout out to Dove for that amazing cleanse, by the way.
Oh,
Because right after you can see the cleanse, and that it was actually very nice.
I'm gonna watch it one more time, just to see it. And then here they are, all grouping up. Boom, all dead. And I'm watching Dove. Oh yeah, it is a nice cleanse. And then immediately died.
It didn't help him, but it was nice to see. It's always good to see like an insta cleanse.
Okay, so those are those are the highlights of the week. We can go over power rankings. Power rankings are going to be pretty quick this week. Surprisingly, we both have 6 teams staying the same as they were last week. We both have Griffin number 1. That's easy. Don't need to discuss it. They're the best team in the world. Sandbox stays number 2. They took a game off Griffin. That's more than anyone else can say right now. Simple enough. SKT stays number 3. They got embarrassed to Griffin, but that doesn't really count.
No, it doesn't.
They beat Ham with Life, which would have been the only team that can really match them for that third spot, and they beat them, so why would they move? Kingzone, we both moved up to number 4 because simply they've won 4 games in a row. I think they're fakers a bit, not in the sense of faker, but like I think they're gonna fall down back to reality soon, personally. But at the time, I simply have to have them at number 4. They've won 4 in a row. They deserve it. And then Deft is carrying them like Teddy used to carry Jyn. Like Jyn. It's such a good carry by Deft.
Yeah.
We both have Han with Life number 5. I think you moved them up 1. I've kept them the same. That's fine. Like we are number 5, 1 through 5, very easy. Like
No, absolutely.
you can tell by it's almost like the exact. With Korea, the standings almost equal the power rankings. It's kind of weird. Like every team that's good has won the games, and every team that's bad has lost the games because they're bad.
Mhm.
Like, like no. I mean, there's been some crazy upsets, but there's no like, oh man, this team should be so much better right now. I think they're so much better than their record, or they're so much worse than their record is. None of that at the moment. I have Damwon number 6. You have him number 7. Interesting enough, you do have KT number 6. I have him number 8. Why do you have KT over Damwon and Genji?
I have Kate. Well, because for me, there's two teams who are technically number 6 in the standings, which is KT and Damwon,
Got it.
and they're both exactly the same score. They're 2-4 in their series, and they're 6-8 throughout their game.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me putting KT above them was just simply because there was certain games where Damwon just didn't seem like they showed up at all, and then those games where they did. And this week KT lost to Genji, which not good at all.
That's
And
why
then
I
they
put
beat
Genji
Afrika.
above him.
Yeah, and then Afrika beat. They beat Afrika, which is also not good. Um, but this is also me putting them there just because they're tied with them, and Genji is down a game
Yeah.
compared to the two. So that was a mix, but it's 100% going to be different because KT is getting shafted next week. They
It's
are
their
not
turn.
going to have a good week.
Their turn. And the only reason I have KT number 8 is because their only wins are against Afrika and Jinair, who I have below them. So if you can only beat Jinair in Afrika, like that's not good right now. Afrika looks very ugly, and Jinair looks like one of the worst teams. Like there
Yeah,
could
this
be
is kind of
potential
one of
Brazil
those.
teams beat Jinair.
Yeah, this is kind of one of those things where it's like, just because of me being disappointed with Damwon, like, congrats on you for having the same record. I'll give it to you this week, but next week you're getting dropped.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so
Because
talking like
think,
that.
yeah, I think Damwon's going to have an easy week, and KT's got a very hard week.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of the games, though, let's get right into our predictions. Won't go as long as we did yesterday. The first game of the week is Genji versus Hanwha Life. I personally have Hanwha Life winning this game 2-1. I think Genji has looked better. They did pick up a win against KT, even if it was ugly. They did look absolutely terrible against Kingzone, though. So they looked better in one series and worse in the second one. So it's kind of just middle ground, to be honest. It's like a slight better because they won. Excuse me one second. I gotta sneeze. Brock, talk about your pick because I have a sneeze coming on, but I can't get it. I can't
Just
get
we
it.
stare at the light.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got Hanwha Life winning this game. I actually have Hanwha Life winning this game 2-0.
It's gone.
I think it wouldn't be crazy to say that Genji's going to take a game off of Hanwha, but I do have Hanwha 2-0.
I
Oh,
have,
not
I
this
have
week.
two.
I have 2-0 this series.
Yeah. All right, so we both have Hanwha though. I think Hanwha will step back up and be able
Yeah.
to get back up into their rightful spot of top 4. Personally, this week. Next game of the week is SKT versus Kingzone. I think this is where I'm talking about Kingzone getting exposed. I think Deft will not be able to carry against Teddy as well as he's been carrying against some of these other people. I did think Ruler, the Kingzone versus Gen G series was Death versus Ruler. That's all it was. Death versus Ruler with a bunch of other people that are not doing anything at all. Where I think if Deft has to do everything or Teddy still has to do a lot, but Teddy's good enough to stay with him, and then you have players like Faker and stuff on your team to back up Teddy, where Kingzone does not have that. So I think SKT is going to 2-0 them, and I think this is where Kingzone starts losing games. But they've proven me wrong all year. I put them in 10th place. I put them worse than Jin Air 2 weeks ago, and they haven't lost since. So maybe they hate me.
Yeah, I think I do think SKT is going to win this. I think it's going to be a 2-1 because I just have a strange feeling they're going to put Khan on Victor again. And Khan is good, but that pick holds teams back so much.
Yeah.
But I think it's obvious that obviously Teddy is better than Deb, and Faker's better than Pawn, and Klid has actually showed a lot for me this season.
I would argue when you say Teddy is better in depth, I don't think it's that obvious. I think
No,
Deft
not
has
obvious.
played very well this year.
Yeah, Yeah, I don't think it's like, dude,
Yeah.
absolutely
Okay.
better.
Okay.
No,
That's fair then.
yeah, no, by
I
no
thought you
means at
said
all.
obvious. My bad. I didn't know if you
No,
said.
no.
Okay.
But I think he's better. But yeah, like you said, it's not. I think it's going to be a good bot lane. Like it's going to be good to watch bot lane.
The rest of the map, SKT should win hard,
Yeah, they
and
should.
that you can't carry with that usually.
Yeah, no. So I think it's going to be an exciting series. I think SKT is going to win 2-1.
That's fair. Next series we have Damwon versus Afrika. This is where Damwon. I said I was off the hype train. I'm back on the hype train for some stupid reason. But the reason is that they're facing Afrika, and Afrika sucks. like this is your moment, Damwon. You got this. Nagri.
Yeah.
They have to talk to Nagri. Please do not get caught out. Look at where your team is. Look at where your vision is. Make sure you're playing with your vision in your team. If you're moving up at the same time as your team, make sure you have vision in between to see if where people are going. It's just classic professional play. Don't do solo queue. I have Damwon winning this 2-1 because I'm still scared that it's going to happen one game, but I really hope they turn it around because I like Damwon as a team personally. And even though I said I was off the hype train, this is the week. If you had a week, if you lose this week, I am off forever for the rest of the week. You will never get me for the rest of the summer to be back on that train.
Yeah, I think for me, I think Damwon has to go 4-0 this week because they're not playing against crazy talent. Like they're not playing against even against a KT.
Yeah.
Like they're not playing against KT or not like that. They're playing against Afrika and Gen A.
Yeah.
So I think they're against two teams where they can go 4-0 this week. But I think a lot of this for me is actually going to rely on Canyon because I think Nagri can at least ward his one bush and top.
Can he?
And I think it's going to be up to. I hope so. But I think it's going to be up to Canyon.
He's got some Hooney syndrome.
Yeah, Canyon literally has to ward everywhere else. And if they can do that, I think they'll be good. But I don't want to see Damwon lose.
Yeah. Honestly, that's the one excuse that Damwon gets. That little excuse. They've lost 4 games in a row. Well, who have they lost to? Griffin, Sandbox, SKT, Kingzone. All 4 teams with a winning record in the LCK. The only 4 teams with a winning record. That's all of them. So Damwon has shown that they're not at that level of winning record, but they're still a middle of the pack team probably. But this is the test. Are they a middle of the pack team or are they bottom level? Has the bottom completely fallen out?
Yeah, for me, I think with LCS, there's one team who is going to be the gatekeeper for playoffs, and that's going to be Damwon.
LCK, you mean?
Yeah, LCK, sorry. I think that's Damwon.
Yeah, I agree with that, absolutely.
For the bottom tier teams, I think they're really going to struggle to get back to Damwon. And I think Damwon could possibly struggle getting the playoff.
Yeah, I wrote that in my notes. I had that exact note. I think Damwon could actually struggle to get in the playoffs after such an amazing first week in Kespa Cup.
Yep.
That was awesome. Series number 4 is Sandbox versus Jennair. Don't need to do any analysis on this. Sandbox should easily win this. Jennair has looked terrible against every other team. Sandbox.
Yeah, I actually put this in my notes. I would be surprised if throughout this obvious 2 games they're only going to play, if Jennair managed to get 5 kills.
Yeah, it could be something like KT or SKT versus Griffin, where it was so one-sided. Yeah, Sandbox really impressed me with taking a game off Griffin. I don't think anyone else is going to take a game off Griffin this year. Or, possibly. This split.
Yeah.
Next,
not unless someone really starts showing something.
Yeah, speaking of that, or Griffin throws really hard. Speaking of that, though, Griffin versus KT, I just said I think Griffin 2-0s them because I think KT are a bunch of frauds. I think they've only beaten Afrika and Jennair. They haven't beaten anyone else, and you want to know who's better than Afrika and Jennair combined in times 30? Griffin.
Yep.
So I have Griffin taking this 2-0 easy series.
Oh, it'd be crazy to think otherwise.
I love certain games like this where I can just type yours in. I don't even need to know.
Yep. All my crazy picks come in NA.
Yeah. Series number 6 is Hanwha Life versus Kingzone. I see Hanwha Life. This is a showdown right here. These 2 teams are a battle between 4th and 5th place. They are the best of the middle ground teams at the moment. And
Yep.
like I said before, I think Kingzone gets exposed for being a bottom half. I think they're more close in line with Damwon, even though they 2-0'd them. I think Damwon and them will be fighting for that sixth spot by the end of the year, and the rest of the teams will fall down from there. Fifth and sixth, they could be fighting for position wise there, but KT might scoot up, but I doubt it. I think they're going to be I think those are going to be the bottom two teams in the playoffs at the moment, and I think Hanwha is better in Kingzone, and I think they show it with a 2-0 this week. I have Kingzone going 0-4 in games, even though they've won 4 games in a row. I'm still a hater, I guess. What can I say? Still a hater.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually have Kingzone winning
Ooh.
because I completely agree that I think Kingzone is not as good as their record shows that they are, but it's kind of the same situation with Hanwha Life because Hanwha Life only has a 46% win throughout their series, and Kingzone somehow managed to get 62%.
Yeah, Hanwha goes to a lot of game threes.
Yeah, lots of games. But I don't think this is going to be very clean. I think it's going to be a 2-0 game, and it's going to be games where Kingzone wins. Also, going to be very close games.
Okay, that's fair. I like it. And I like it if my pick wins because I can gain some ground. I'm 3 games behind you. It's the furthest I'm back in any of our regions.
Furthest I've been ahead in any of our podcasts.
You had a really good week last week. That's what does it. Next we have SKT versus Gen G. We've talked. Gen G looked absolutely terrible against Kingzone. They looked okay against KT. I don't know what that tells you. There's a different. Or sorry, not Kingzone. They looked terrible against. No, that was right. They looked terrible against Kingzone. They looked good in heavy quotes against SKT or not SKT. KT, and now they're facing SKT. I think it's a 2-0 SKT personally. I think Gen G is very bad this year, and I think that's what scares me the most about KT is because I thought KT was going to easily beat Gen G. I even thought Afrika was going to beat Gen G as well. Like, I think Gen G is on Jin Air levels of bad, personally. But they showed up and they did beat KT. No, they didn't beat Afrika, actually. They lost to Afrika. Because their 2 wins are against Jin Air. By the way, the only Jin Air win is against KT. Oh my god, Gen G. I'm messing this whole thing up, by the way. I had this written and everything. I'm messing names up left and right. Anyway, SKT 2-0. I'm done. I've failed everything that I wanted to say there.
I got SKT 2-0 as well.
That's all you need to know. I messed up all my notes. I even have it written down. I couldn't do it.
English is hard.
Speaking of Damwon, though. Damwon versus Jin Air. They gotta do it, right, Brock? they
have to.
There's no way. If you lose to Jin Air, even if you lose the game to Jin Air, I'm gonna fall off the hype train.
Yeah. Honestly, if you lose a game, unless we're crazy and this is the start of this crazy Jin Air run, which obviously that's not going to happen.
Yeah, there's no.
But yeah, Damwon just cannot.
Even if the scouting report for Nagari is true and it still works, where you ban out the champions and then he is unable to play it well and he actually fails still, I don't think that's enough for Jin Air to overcome the rest of the team on Damwon, where it's good enough for the other teams.
I mean, I think you could actually just give him Lulu top against Lindarang. I mean, you could literally just give him anything.
Yeah, you could. You really could.
So I think this game isn't good. I think this game, I don't know what Jin Air could possibly ban in this series.
No, I agree. I just don't know what Jin Air can do in the LCK period. They haven't shown that they can do anything outside of beat 1 game of Gen G, and that's it. They play such a slow game, super slow, and they're out. It's not like Splice, where Splice kind of has a little more talent than other teams in LEC, so their slow game can still work. Jin Air has the worst talent in the league, so playing out of meta with the worst talent is not a recipe for success by any means.
Yeah, I think this is a team Golden Guardians might even be able to beat.
No,
Might.
Heavy might.
Heavy might.
Another very easy series is Griffin versus Afrika. Afrika's one of the worst teams in the league. Griffin's best team in the world. Easy 2-0. No
Yeah.
analysis needed.
Yeah, Sunday's got really easy games. Like
Yeah.
Sunday, you should be able to just wake up early, get these games out of the way real quick.
Yeah. Well,
Griffin, easy to
we have the one difference between Hanwha and KZ, but after that, yeah, I agree. Then we have Sandbox versus KT. I kind of want to give KT this win. I don't know why. There's something in my gut that's telling me this is the upset of the week right here. You want to know why?
I feel inspired.
Thank you for the follow. And Ansley, thank you for the follow. But KT, I can't do it. I can't pick the upset.
Yeah.
I don't believe in KT enough. I know they should be able to be this team. They haven't proven it in 3 weeks. I thought this was going to be one of the best. I know they lost players, but I still thought Score was like the best jungler in the world with Tarzan. Like they were neck and neck. They're not. Not anymore.
More.
Smeb in top is terrible. He's one of the worst top laners in the league right now. And like that's what they built their team around. Like those two were the people they were going to build the players they were going to build their team around, and they're both failing miserably. And I really am disappointed with them, and I'm disappointed with the team in general. I don't think KT's even going to make the playoffs this year. I will say it right now, KT will miss the playoffs. So
Yeah.
I got Sandbox winning this game, and I haven't won it 2-0, even though somewhere my gut wants to believe in KT still. I think it's just Worlds last year, like seeing them at Worlds and dominate outside of IG, who they played very close to IG. I thought they played, so you can tell that they were at that level, and I think that's still like only a few months away, or in my head still, but they're so bad now. They're so bad.
Yeah. Like part of me, like I get where you're coming from with like wanting to pick KT to win because I kind of feel like something's crazy going to happen this week.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the most I could do was say I think Sandbox is going to win 2-1.
Oh,
Like I think
you
some crazy stuff is going to happen game 1, and then it's just going to be Sandbox after.
So you do, but there's something in you as well saying like, okay, this is gonna happen. Like there's something could happen here.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it rides on the fact that we're 4 weeks in, so some of these teams are really going to have to start stepping up a bit.
Oh yeah, this isn't like week 1. Oh no, it's okay. It's only the first week. This is about the halfway point. We're getting near the halfway point of the season already, and you're still not stepping up.
Yeah, so it's like some of these things. Like I think right now, obviously, Jin Air, Afrika gone. There's nothing they can do.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to do some crazy run right now because, I mean, even week 5, the best Jin Air could possibly do is against.
Yeah, and
So it's like you're still losing. Like you're almost guaranteed a loss every week. So even then, that's not. You're
good.
not getting to.
No, especially because LCK still has relegations and stuff. So this is worrisome for a lot of these. Not for Jin. It's kind of known by Jinner's been in the league for a long time, but it's kind of known that this is going to be their last split at the moment. Like I feel like it's writings on the wall type deal. They've been with LCK since the beginning, I believe I heard. But you're also going to have some historic franchises like KT. Can you imagine if KT goes from Worlds, probably being the second best team at Worlds, to getting out? Afrika went to Worlds for the first time. They went to quarterfinal. They did get swept by NA, but they went to quarterfinals. They looked better than Gen G did. They could be out. Gen G, world champion 2 years ago. They could be out. There's so many of these historic franchises that could be out of the LCK by the end of the split, and it's insane to me. It's really insane. It's gonna be one of them. That's the fact of it. The matter is, it's unless Hanwha and Damwon completely blow up, like there's no way it's one of them is gonna be. One of them will be relegated, and it's gonna be very interesting to see which one it is.
Yeah.
All 3 of them. I'd say Freaka would be the least shocking because they're not as well known. I think KT and Gen G would be huge news to know that they're kicked out of the LCK for the time being.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. All right. I do want to say one quick thing. What are your thoughts on Peanut? I don't want to expose a player like this at the end. Quick thoughts on Peanut.
On Peanut? Oh, man.
I wanted to bring it up earlier, but I forgot until just now.
So many things. Like, Peanut is such a player where you've seen him do good. Like, you've seen Peanut do crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, it's kind of crazy. like how not good he's been doing.
Yeah, he had one good game on Lee Sin this week against KT. Was it against KT? Yes, it was against KT. But that was it.
Yeah.
Like there was nothing else very exciting in my opinion from Peanut. I wanted to say the thing why I brought it up because I wanted to bring it up earlier. I think there is, this is gonna sound bad, and he'll probably pop off this week, so I sound like an idiot. There is like 5 NA junglers at the moment that I would take over Peanut. Does
Yeah.
that sound bad?
Not really.
Okay, good, good. Well, that's bad for Peanut that that someone would say that, and it doesn't sound insane.
Yeah, I mean, it really doesn't.
Like I would take Smithy over Peanut right now, any day of the week.
Yeah.
I'd take, well, I was gonna say 5. I was gonna say Svenskeren. When I brought this up, NA hadn't played yet. Svenskeren worries me again, but
Oh god.
yeah, I'd take a Cadian right now over Peanut at the moment. Cadian's playing lights out, I think. It's just, it's crazy to me how far Peanut has fallen in just a year. Like from like best jungler in the world to one of the worst junglers in the LCK, and I don't know what to do about it. Because I like Peanut as well. He's fun to watch, and like you said, you love seeing his Lee Sin all the time. Man, that's a sad thing to
Crazy.
end the game though, or end the week. I wanted to bring it up earlier. I forgot. I tried to, and then I just was like, "Oh wait, crap!" But I just wanted to bring it up at the end. But that's gonna wrap it up for this week. Thank you guys for coming to watch. Thank Ansley for following. Uh, you can follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/KingLinkFan. We stream this at 10 p.m. every Sunday through Thursday. Sunday is LPL, which we won't. Will we have it this week? No, we won't have it this week because they're still on. No, we will have it this week. Sorry, we will have it this week because they are coming back. I don't know. Yeah, I think so. I think so. Chinese New Year's a little weird. It's like 10 days, so it's like it's not a full week. It's a little bit extra. So the calendar is weird, but we'll have it this week. Monday's NA. Today was LCK on Tuesday. Wednesday we have LMS, and Thursday, which we will not have tomorrow because of Chinese New Year. I know that for a fact. And Thursday is LEC. So I want to thank you guys for coming out to watch us. You can watch this on YouTube as well at youtube.com/KingLinkFan. And thank you guys for watching, and have a good night.
Bye bye.